Hello, my name is Shazbad Barik, and I am convalescing because I hurt my back. Hurt my back. So, today is Wednesday. Wednesday the 19th? Wednesday, December 19th. It is 11:32. And, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to try to do 5 hours today. I think that the worst is behind me, or at least it's not going to get worse than this. It was really, not really hard, but kind of hard to sleep last night. I could feel it when I cough in my back. So I'll just be shifting around, but I think I can do 5 hours. I'll probably halfway through this video, I'll grab the ice. I'll do half videos with ice, half without. We'll see. We'll see how we feel after 3 hours. I have a laundry going, so I'm in a towel. Don't be surprised when I stand up and I have a towel on. I just got out of the shower. The shower loosened it up, so maybe I'm being too optimistic, and once that heat gets off, I'm trying not to do, I guess I could do this longer if I had hot packs, but I'm trying not to do hot packs until at least a couple days, just ice. So I do the shower, and definitely loosens it up. But ice to slow down the swelling, and I messaged an ex of mine. She's a occupational therapist. It's like a physical therapist, but more career focused, and she told me walk around the block and do things that she thinks I could, or I think I could do, and really light yoga stuff that we both know. So I walked for like a half hour today. That was good. Just checking out my range of motion. Sometimes it feels like I could barely stand up, and then if you hit the pain in a certain way that it's like if you engage your lower back directly in the specific place that it's injured, it's debilitating to the point that you'll actually drop down. Like when I'm trying to get up in the morning, that was difficult. Trying to go from sitting to standing positions, from laying down you just have to be very careful that you don't engage your lower back. So you go with your hands, you grab something, you use as much upper body and legs as you can. But as soon as you engage your lower back, even if it's just your own body weight, like even like this, rocking back and forth is really hard. So if you're trying to get up and you just lift up a little bit like that, you just drop. It's the type of pain you can't really work through. It shuts down your whole body. And if I could imagine, like if you catch yourself while you're standing, you almost feel like passing out, because it shuts everything down. It's interesting. It's like an off switch for your body. It's like getting hit in the liver. It's like getting kicked in the nuts. Like, it hurts, and it hurts really bad, but your body kind of also just shuts down. You just kind of have to take a knee and just wait for it to go. But this is quick. This is as soon as you hit that trigger point. Like, I was coming out of the bathroom and I was walking, but I guess just how I was walking or something, I fell into the wall. So it is an interesting thing. This is a good meditative experience. The walk was nice because I'm in Southern California, and the thing that bugged me about New York was the lack of sun in the winter. So getting out there and getting some sun on me for like a half hour was nice. You can see how sunny it is outside today. It's a really nice day. And then like I took off my sandals and just walking barefoot and really feeling like my feet and my legs move, and I can't take big strides, but the fact that I could shuffle around, this is like preemptive old man Shaz if I make it to old age. Just like as long as you're still alive. And I would see these people in New York, old people, blind people, people that you could feel bad for them or you could be proud for them. I was always encouraged when I saw some little old lady shuffling down the street in Chinatown. It's like she's still independent, still walking around. Doesn't matter how slow or whatever. I would see this guy in the village with his bag, and he's just very tiny steps. And he probably lives on a high floor walk up too, because he doesn't want to give up his rent controlled apartment. But there's this lady, I lived in a building, and she was on the 5th floor. And I would carry her groceries sometimes when I would catch her, but she would want to do it herself. She doesn't want to lose her strength, but she would take breaks, at least 2 breaks on her way up. But she would just put down the groceries, wait. Us proud people, we like that. We like to be able to, like my mom wanted to. She got some like ointment or cream or something. I was like, no killing of the pain right now. We're in the observation mode. Let us see what we're working with. And then I'm hoping it's not going to be a 10-week recovery here. I looked online, it could be as bad as a couple months. I think, yeah, and I don't have to do anything, but I'm going to start engaging my core as soon as possible. Start doing these exercises to strengthen my back muscles around what happened. Planking, swimming. I was thinking swimming. I'm going to try swimming in a couple days, maybe tomorrow. So if I could walk around, I could be mobile. I don't want to overdo it, so we're going to see how I respond to the half-hour walk today, because it's flaring up a little bit. I could just feel it. But I'd rather work into it and get it stronger than leave it alone and then have lingering stuff. So I'm going to work into it as much as I can. So I'm thinking swimming. I should look that up. I'll look that up now. Or at the beginning of the videos, we always try to let my mind come to me, settle into what I'm doing here, because none of it's compulsive. Swimming, good for lower back. Swimming is a low-impact aerobic workout that relieves pressure on the joints and spine while exercising muscles in the back. Yeah. It provides a way to exercise without putting any additional stress on the joints, and is it good for bulging discs? Strengthen muscles supporting the spinal column and strengthen the area surrounding the injured disc. That's what I was thinking. That little bit of twisting. I wanted to get better at, oh, that really hurt. I wanted to get really better at the form anyways, and that's one of the cool things about this YMCA. It has an outdoor pool, and they're heated. They heat it up to like 80 degrees or something ridiculous. Maybe even, not I hope they don't do 90, but it's like 55 in the morning here, and still it'll be nice. So this is just an excuse to take 2 weeks off. If I think I'm going to do a full 2 weeks off of the weightlifting, just even if I think I could come back sooner, give it at least 2 weeks. That's what the arrogance of this injury is teaching me to slow my roll. And then, swim for 2 weeks. I'll be able to maintain hopefully some chest and shoulder and arm strength. And then also, I was getting a little chubby anyways. Turn this into a positive. Do swimming. And if you could swim for your aerobic exercise, that's huge. I don't think I could swim for 20 minutes straight. So we'll see if I can build that up. We'll see how my back responds. I'll try that tomorrow. And then I could still walk by. I won't be able to work out with the girls, but I could still walk by, save some face. They probably didn't even notice I hurt myself. Maybe. You heard the weight drop and you saw me fall to the ground, but I was kind of behind the leg press machine. So they were working on the other side of the little workout area. It's not that big of a workout area. That's why we're all in each other's shit. And they had like a group of 8 people. So I was like on the other side of the leg press machine. So you could kind of see me when I was standing up, but when I would kneel down to do the deadlift, you can't really see me. So I kneeled down to do the deadlift on my last set. And then whenever I'm in between sets, I walk over to the clock, or I walk past him, or I walk the other direction. But I usually like walk. Sometimes I'll stay there, but sometimes if I'm really pumped up and that was a really good workout, I'll go like walking somewhere. Try not to get in people's way, but like I don't like to just stay still. You got all that energy going through you. And also for some reason, if you're doing a hard workout, I don't like staying in the place of the workout. Like I feel when I come back, I hit it. But when I'm done, I give myself a break. It's like that's the location of pain. So I walk, I clear my head. I'm like, I positive encouragement. You got this. You could do this. You're doing good. You're doing great. These cheesy little shit you say to yourself. And then some people probably discourage themselves. You're an asshole. But I always positively encourage myself. You're doing good. You're doing really good. Shaz, you can do this. Good job. Good job. Keep your mind focused. And then when I walk back, try to walk back within 30, 45 seconds. And then so that way when I walk back, I just walk back, go right into the exercise. As opposed to just sitting there thinking about it the whole time, especially if it's a really hard exercise. The whole time you're just thinking like, fuck. You're just feeling it. Or like if you're like biceps and like curls, some pains just get to you. Like curl pains, that's probably why my arms, I never got them that big. They hurt. It's just a certain type of pain. It's just my tendons, everything just is on fire. And I mean, it's good. That's how you know you're growing. You just have to know the difference between that. That's the whole wisdom of working out. What's the difference between growing pain and hurting pain? This one didn't give me a chance. This one was all technique. This is like, I've gotten that. That's what the bench press. I was going right up to the edge of growing pain and hurting pain, starting to feel, all right, if I push too hard, I think, especially as I get older, I have to be more humble to my body. When I was younger, I wouldn't work as hard, I think. But now I think I have a nice little, I'm getting results that I like. When I was younger, I didn't work hard enough. And now it's like, all right, well, don't kill yourself. Got to take care of this body. But the back thing, it was all me not dropping the weight. Trying to stop it. I was stopping it with my back, I think. When I do it, I'm going to go do deadlift again as soon as I can. You got to strengthen the shit. This is a warning of a weakness. A warning of a weakness. You're playing chess and someone takes your queen. You're like, all right, well, now I know about that move. In the future, they won't take my queen that way. In the future, hopefully, I won't hurt my back this way. It's something really weird. I wanted to get this on recording, and then we'll jump back. Oh shit, 10 minutes already. And then we'll jump into what we're supposed to be doing. Look at that. I have to lift my shelf up. Let me see if this sounds on the recording. Can I hear that? I'll have to take that. I don't know if you hear it. I hear this click click. When I do that with my leg, I hear a click click. Something about how my back is and my leg is engaging or something. I don't know. Anyways, it's just like click click, click click. Just more data, more information. Just moving the towel around so I don't accidentally flash people when I get up and down. Probably going to be in this towel for a minute because I don't own that many clothes. Because when I got evicted, I just grabbed 2 bags and ran, and one bag was books, and then I had a couple pairs of shorts and a couple of t-shirts. But that's a story for 2008. We're talking about old stuff. Oh, we have to finish Reddit. Let me do that. Finish the Reddit. Okay. But yeah, that little click click, I'm like, I should probably, eventually I'll do a MRI doctor thing, just make sure there's nothing fucking weird in there. Maybe do some chiropractic stuff, some massage stuff. But for now, we're just going to get back into working order on my own. And then just like the teeth, just like any other lingering stuff, get the money, then deal with the responsible shit. All right, Reddit comments abridged. I think so. I think I'm rounding out my narrative and my philosophy, or at least what I'm going to be working with as I go running for president of the United States of America. Where did we stop at? We stopped at... I think we stopped at... I could check it. What's your main goal in life? I think we did that. That was a good one. I'll read that anyways. I'll read that again. Yeah, I said Blake Griffin. I read that one. But anyways, I said build tools. What was it? Articulate a new political philosophy for the modern age. I think I'm working on that. Little by little, Shaz. Just like your back. Little by little. Casino Jack and the United States of Money. The incredible true story of powerful lobbyist Jack Abramoff. And as the documentary goes on, you realize with increasing horror just how corrupt Congress is. And I say, all we have to do is leverage technology to take back control of government. Don't look at it as the government. Look at it as an industry that needs innovation. It's happening in all other sectors, just not government yet because there's huge barriers to entry. Two-party duopoly. It'll fall, just like old media. The question is, will an organic populist alternative take its place to usher in actual democracy? Or will the corporatists keep pace with new tactics to maintain power? How old media is trying to buy their way into maintaining their hegemony. Things will change, but it'll be up to us whether they change for the better or just rearrange the same old BS. Black Lives Matter protesters leave MOA and attempt to shut down MSP airport. I got 22 points on this one. This is my most popular point. I should pay attention to it. I camped out with Occupy Wall Street. Early on in the BLM protest, it was recognized that a lot of the same paid organizers from the Occupy merely shifted to the next cause after they got tons of donations from Hurricane Sandy in NYC. I have no idea what accent I'm doing right now. There's a network of paid agitators, which is really what these activists are, that do this for a living. From my experience, some were paid by unions, others by the Tides Foundation, a Soros group, or other liberal orgs. And then there were a bunch of question marks, the actual sincere protesters who weren't sponsored, like myself and others I knew, had to go get real jobs. The only people who can afford to protest, agitate full time, are funded by others with an agenda. I have no doubt that some of these agendas are to purposefully cause conflict to damage the cause. Like here in NYC, they'd purposefully fight with the cops and make a scene, when our most effective action was our soup kitchen we were organizing that fed thousands daily. Well, when we were rolling, all from donated food and labor. But these guys want to fight with the cops for Occupy or BLM or whatever. They're just young assholes who want to feel like badasses. TLDR. These protests are organized by a small secretive cadre of professional agitators with their own agenda. And then I got 1 point for this one. I have the recruitment document when I was in Occupy, where the paid organizers were looking for leadership they could send on retreats. We went over that. I'm including it in a book I'm working on from my time there. When was this? I wasn't working on that book at that time. I was just doing it real estate. Fucking bitches making money. Making money fucking bitches. Shaz is all about that life. Winning. I was winning. I was being a winner. Being a fucking American. It's very clear what they intended: to recruit from the movement, take them on paid retreats, and create a sophisticated network of agitators they can dispatch when they're in crisis, when there's a crisis that they can capitalize on. Oh, that is true, actually. That's a very good way to put it. I say this quickly because I'm going to watch these videos, and these videos will be faster than reading in case in the future I don't have the time. Also, I get to capture this moment. There's a lot. When I was stoned, I think I put it best. I watched the stone videos. Not supposed to be watching these videos, but every now and then I'll be like, is the audio, is this and that? So I watched part of a stone video, and I said, like, this is the start of a conversation which will be completed when I watch it at the end of 2019 and add the other half, my observation of my observations. So this is a way for me to observe myself over time, unifying past, present, and future Shaz. That was a good stony idea. That's when, like, fucking when you get stoned, it's like you're casting a very long fly fishing line. Like, sometimes it's ridiculous, but sometimes it works. If you watch someone fly fishing, it looks ridiculous. They're like casting and casting and casting, but if you have an idea where the fish might be, trout are smart motherfuckers. You have to have beautiful bait. You have to just do the dance. It's a dance. And being stoned is you got that stony idea. Sometimes you look ridiculous and then you just get caught up in the line. But sometimes you let your mind wander and you cast a beautiful thought and you grab it and the fucking fish bite. And then when you're sober, you're like, that's a keeper. No less than Carl Sagan said that a lot of his ideas came from when he was stoned in the shower with his wife. Live honestly. Fuck the bullshit. Fuck the people who tell you, you shouldn't do this because I'm the authority. There's a lot of people lying to us. All right. It's very clear what they intended: to recruit from the movement, take them on paid retreats, and create a sophisticated network of agitators that they can dispatch when there's a crisis that they can capitalize on. I know some of the people who were recruited have first-hand accounts of the training and know they're now organizing for BLM. I am Apollo. Come on, Apollo. Let's sit down and talk. You know me. I know you. I only am speaking on what I've seen. But yeah, tinfoil. I got 1 point for this. Probably will be buried, but I'll try to start a new thread with this link as well. I think that this recruitment org within Occupy was the inception of these organized agitators. Never figured out who the organizers were or where the money was coming from, which is why I noped the fuck out of there. Look at me. I'm using the speak of the online circles. I've internalized their values and socialized and adapted well to mainstream America. 1 point. I was serious. This is what I think is going on. People are being trained on how to use crisis to stir up protests that gain media attention in order to insert themselves into public discourse, but often at the expense of the supposed cause they're supposed to be defended. It's a bloody shirt political tactic find and exploit a victim for the moral high ground, only done through astroturfing foul movements. The head of these protests mostly come from the same training camps. Not sure who's organizing it all, though. 0 points for this one. Adjusting the tap on oil. The largest decreases for Saudi Arabia are between 60 and 40 and 40 to 20, so I don't see them going above 60 anytime soon, since this is to increase their market share. The largest increase for the US and Russia is between 40 and 60. From a logical negotiation standpoint, I think Saudi Arabia will push it down to as close to 20 as long as they can, negotiate it back upwards to 50 to 60, equilibrium under pressure from the US and Russia as it starts affecting our own industries. But I don't see them making this bold move with the intention of going back to triple-digit oil anytime soon. But then, I'm just talking out of my ass. What was this? This was 3 years ago, maybe? 2 years ago, maybe? Oil barrel price. 67. I said 50 to 60. Huh. Well, you were somewhat right, Shaz. Somewhat right. Story. A 9-year-old gave me the best, most positive advice about getting older. I got 51 points here. Look at that, Shaz. Why do I have such shitty point? Well, I don't have access to this account. We'll speak about that in a minute. Shaz and Reddit. Shaz and Steve Hoffman. Stephen Hoffman, the founder of Reddit. Why don't you like Shaz? Why are you angry at Shaz? Why did you lock me out of my account? Are you fucking with me, Stephen Hoffman? Moments of anxiety are usually followed by breakthroughs. Trust that your mind is processing. Don't try to avoid anxiety. Accept it as part of the problem-solving mechanism we all are born with. The time to worry is when you don't know there's a problem. Who wants to be the guy who can't see his own faults? So your brain's done the first and arguably hardest step. Identify the problem. Just like my back. We're identifying the problem. Just how fucked did I fuck myself? Now just allow answers to form. Some can be with effort, researching your options and brainstorming, trial and error. Walking around the block. I'm going to try swimming tomorrow. Turn this into a positive. Oh, fuck. Well, this is an excuse to swim now. Some will likely be intuition, in which case, be sensitive to what you think about when your mind wanders and try to start recording your thoughts. What we're doing here. Look at Shaz only lives, speaks, breathes his own philosophy. There are contradictions in my life, but when I was young, I figured that's the... You only shatter against yourself is something I repeat ever since I fucking started saying that a couple years ago. So just look into your own mind, and that means listen to yourself before you listen to other people. That doesn't mean believe yourself before you believe other people. Humble yourself. But have a practice. If you're going to try to listen better to the world and learn from other people and learn from books and stuff, have a practice of also being quiet and still and observing your own thoughts. Because you're going to find some really cool shit in there. Especially if you do some psychedelics and you take the default mode network in your mind, take it off and allow your mind to truly wander. It might scare you though at first. Allow the answers to form. Some can be with effort. Mind wanders. Try to start recording your thoughts. Start a dialogue with yourself. Simple iPhone notes or Moleskines is what I used, which I frequently compiled into Word docs and filed away. The truths you want to remember are, there is nothing man is not formed by nature to bear. Marcus Aurelius. Shaz the Stoic, which coincides well with capitalism and accumulation. There's more to spirituality, but if you're just going to make money and fuck bitches, then our empire is built off of Grecophilia, so you might as well use Stoicism as your philosophy and you're done. And you won't feel like you're an asshole, even if you're leaving broken-hearted women and disheveled corporations in your wake. But it does. This is an aspect, I think, of character. It's just there's other aspects too. Compassion, knowing when to stop, knowing how to fight, how to accumulate, how to win is good, but how to love. I'm about to read this book by Eric Fromm, The Art of Love. I wanted to use that as my last book this year. I just finished the Anarchist book. Not really sure how I feel about Woodcock. I think Woodcock blocked himself. That wasn't clever. He he I like how he ended it, saying that the ideas of anarchism and libertarianism are very important in an age where we have more and more authoritarianism and coercion. But yet, he said some really fucking, I think, outlandish things. Anarchism is dead. It's a failed movement, this and that, which, if you take a wider view of history, and he's so scholarly, and he's sounds like he knows definitively up to that point the history of anarchism, so I can't argue him with that. But I just feel like the history of corporate personhood, the history of banking, the history of empire, the history of nation states, the history of he within his framework he makes sense. When you add more details, anarchism, libertarianism becomes even more compelling. And then when you add that detail of the arc of technology and where we're at right now, and then the fact that most of it's based on open source systems, that seems what flourishes in technological environments. That's just another feather in the cap of anarchism as a natural expression of human individuals. We have a natural sociable expression that doesn't require authority or hierarchies in order to organize us. We will naturally organize ourselves. That seems to be bearing out in the technological realm, which makes anarchism, libertarianism, ways to organize human behavior without authority, even more relevant. So I think he was short-sighted in his negativity, which was a reaction to his time. That communism won, authoritarianism won, and anarchism, the idea, is all that was left. I think anarchism, the ideology and the movement, has just played the long game. But so anyways, we're going to put that down. That was interesting. All these books I really have to dig into. If you really want to understand a book, you got to break it down in an outline form. So that takes a couple days. So I'm going to wait until I'm more stable, and then I'm going to actually create outlines for these books, go down and pull all the sources. That's what I did back in the day. When you really want to learn something, you got to go in and check all their sources. I can't read all their sources. That'd be a lifetime, or at least a career. But I could outline the book and break down. It's one thing to read it. It's another thing to break down his chain of ideas and arguments. I don't know what you would call that, but make basically an outline of his arguments so you can really make sure that you're following where he's going. And then you have a list of his references. And then you could burn the book, you could do whatever. Now the book is just the aesthetic prose on top of the arguments. But I have the arguments, and it's a couple pages of arguments, and you're good. You've outlined the structure of the argument. And so any which way you look at it, you're like, I've got what Woodcock had to say on this topic. I want to do that with a couple books. With a book like Free Kingdom, which is right here about Hunter S. Thompson, that would take like a day. That's not that hard, because a book like that's narrative prose about, it's not the deepest pond. So you can just outline. He took Hunter S. Thompson's life. He put his simplistic political philosophy on top of it, which is pretty much the dominant narrative. Doesn't really question power hierarchies. And so, but there's some details I might have forgot there. So, but a book like Woodcock would take a while. It might take a week, because it is fucking extensive. But that's why I read it. That's why I put it off too. I didn't want to fucking go down that rabbit hole. But now I have, and I think I'm prepared for it. Yeah, that's what it is. Some guys I don't read just because I'm like, I don't have the bandwidth. I know that like I haven't read Karl Marx, but now I feel I do. Well, because now I have the counter. I feel like some people, like Shakespeare too. Let me read other cultures before I read the crux of our canon, just so I make sure that I'm not too biased towards it. I read Cervantes. I read Don Quixote. So that's you want a balance. I always felt for the heavy hitters in art or history or philosophy, I wanted a balance, a contrarian as well, so that way I don't just fall into this cult of personality so many of my peers seem to do. Or they're like, oh, anarchism is the best, or communism is the best, or capitalism is the best. The truth is always the larger set that contains all others. But yeah, anarchism, this survey really, I think, gives me the confidence to tackle communism, because I can see where they broke. They're the authoritarian version of socialism. Anarchism is the libertarian version of socialism. Seems like a fucking Karl Marx was a dick. When you read these guys, and Freud was a dick. These guys that like founded these schools of thought, which still affect us to this day. But them personally, how can you buy into someone's philosophy when personally they're a dick? But anyways, he was a smart guy though. Freud was a smart guy too. The truths you want to remember are there's nothing, oh yeah, Marcus Aurelius, and everything is going to be okay. Worrying is like the winter, just a season in the cycle. Look at this, me using Tao Zen bullshit before I even fucking knew it. I knew the Tao before I found it. Now that I found the Tao, I have lost it. Shaz. You can bitch, or you can be someone who feels alive in cold weather. Personally, that's like me and my back. That's just a way of looking at life. Once you develop it, whether you're young, whether you're old, these things, like if you live your philosophy, it's like I get hurt, and then acceptance as soon as possible. And how do I incorporate this into my story and into my path? Personally, I'll always rather be on the beach, but fuck me if I didn't just take a walk in yesterday's blizzard and just marvel at how pretty, albeit freezing, it was. Don't be afraid to marvel at your different states of mind. They're usually all there to help in some way. Lack of pain sensors is deadly. Lack of emotion is sociopathy. Lack of change is death. Love a random stranger. Oh. 51 points. That tells me, when I read this, I was like, I have to be less emotional. The shit that like I was like, rah, 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 is cool and all, and it was a good venting. But when you let your better nature come out, you get rewarded online. That's nice. I guess maybe that's the Shaz that I should be online. And that's one of the reasons why I put these down. Just my experiments in Reddit, and I care about Reddit and stuff, and socializing, learning how to socialize. But also I think a lot of these points are bullshit. Some of us wear the lies of our leaders like badges of courage. Vote. Oh yeah, this was my comment when they have elections. Shaz has never voted in his life. It's like, oh yeah, you got a vote sticker. Fucking awesome. What are you standing for? The lies of that politician or the lies of the other politician, you fucking dumbass. Anyways, that Shaz, bad Shaz. Bad Shaz. Don't be negative. That's not well socialized Shaz. That's a barbarian. You're Shaz Barrack. You're not Shaz Barbaric. Unless people call you by your full name. German spy agency says ISIS sending fighters disguised as refugees. ISIS spy agency says CIA sending aid disguised as a war on terror. Oh, sorry, that's just a historic record. Our equipment, our guns, our propaganda for generations, our jihad, our new Cold War. How can you idiots keep hating on demand for your puppet masters? Net tools can't melt dank propaganda machines. Lose faith in your enemies, sheeple. I think this is me like starting to give up on the fucking whole Reddit thing. I was just like, there's such a dissonance between what I've lived and learned and read and what the fucking dominant narratives are on these online forums. Stephen Hawking says we should really be scared of capitalism, not robots. Bill Gates is just trying to make the first contact with what's being salivated over as a new frontier of consumption in Africa. His foundations don't come without strings attached. Talk to the people who work with them. Elon, for his part, seems sincere. Yeah, if a little bit goofy. But Buffett and Gates are similar types. Were greedy asshole young men who just became more cunning, greedy asshole old men with better understandings of how to cement their legacies in history. From stating that open source software was anarchy and communism to stating that life is a game and you keep score with money. Gates has always been a douche. Just a smarter, more subtle douche now. 33 minutes. Image 10 things that require zero talent. The secret to success is give yourself extra time. That is all. That will help with everything on the list and make up for whatever your shortcomings. Budget more time and your future self will thank you. That's what I'm learning during real estate. Because I'm learning, I like to work. I like to make money. I like to succeed. I've always been very competitive. I wrestled for the fucking fun of throwing your body at another person. Not even winning, just fucking challenging yourself. I like the fact that when I was a sophomore, that's why I stayed in there. I'm not a glutton for punishment, but I was always wrestling people 10, 15 pounds ahead of me, above me. And it's not that I was ever intimidated. I knew I was probably not going to win, but it was like, all right, let's see how this goes. And they wouldn't pin me either. So my whole fucking sophomore wrestling career was just me struggling under a bigger guy, trying not to get pinned. Shaz fucking struggling. But that teaches you something. Getting your ass beat repeatedly teaches you something. And it earns respect. That's why I got a varsity letter. The coach, he didn't think I was like the best, but he was like, every time, and we never won because we couldn't staff a full team. But he was like, every time your number got called up, you went out there and you busted your ass. But and the next year I was the captain. Well, no, I was the best next year just because that's how bad our team was. All the seniors graduated, and then just I had gotten my ass whooped into some skills. Well, I wasn't wrestling people who are 15 pounds heavy. If you're 130 pounds and you're wrestling a 145 pounder, that's a big difference when you're in high school, especially if you're like a skinny guy like me. I'm like 5'8", 5'10", skinny string being 130. And these are like 5'6" Mexican. We're in Southern California. These are some short, brawly little Mexicans. Every time we locked up, that's why I started developing my technique. I would have to learn how to shoot, I never learned how to leg ride. If you're taller, you should leg ride because you can really get your legs in there. But I learned, let me see if I could do this if I lean back. I learned that when we lock up on the initial clinch, and if they grab your head, you grab their head, I'm not going to win that. So I get good at grabbing elbows, slipping. I'm really good at sprawling because from that clinch, they're going to shoot on me. I can't. So, yeah, so you develop. It's interesting. Being the weaker party constantly when you're fighting, wrestling, whatever, you learn how to be crafty, how to be. You also learn how to survive. You learn about pain. You learn about being in painful positions. And I ain't learned how to win right away. I guess real estate is where I was learning how to win. But I learned about endurance. That was what is it? How many rounds is it? 3 rounds? 5 rounds? 3 5-minute rounds. It's exhausting. You're just dripping sweat after a wrestling match. But yeah, so this was like when I was doing real estate, I was hitting my stride, and then I was learning how to work, how I like to work. Even if I went partying or did something the last night, as long as I wake up by 10 a.m. I try to wake up by 8 a.m., give myself an hour my own time. By 9 a.m. I'm setting up my day. By 10 a.m. if I really hit it, I wake up, I take out clients between noon and 5. I found that was my showing window. That's when most agents are active. And then after 5, I'm closing out business. And then that's when most people are contacting me who want to get apartments after work. And I would maybe miss the middle of the day people, and I'd get back to them later on if I was out with clients. If I'm not with clients, I'm just babysitting the phone and working on my ads all day or taking a me day. Because since it's a commission-only industry, when you're not busy, that's your weekends or your vacations. And when the fish are biting, you're working. So when people would be like, do you have weekends? I'm like, the first 2 weeks of the month I work as much as I can. But if I do it the right way, then I could start taking breaks after like the 10 days, 14 days. But you don't really want to take days off when the fish are all biting and they're all coming out the first week. The metrics were, anyways, we're going to talk about real estate later. But yeah. So I was just trying to pay it forward. I was just trying to be like, what I've noticed is give yourself these little blocks of time. I have a work ethic, but I'm not a grind. That's what I don't like about Elon Musk. I've never believed that you should grind yourself to death. So I was starting to learn if a lazy way to be efficient, just give yourself time. I would wake up by 10 a.m. latest. So if on good days I'd wake up by 8, but by 10 a.m. latest, I'm still giving myself 2 hours before noon in order to do the shit I have to do to take clients out. And then you're never rushed. Just don't be rushed. Smart people aren't rushed because they have a plan, a backup plan, and they know how to work with themselves and set expectations. That's what it is. Conversation with yourself also extends to other people. You learn how to set expectations with yourself, time management with yourself. You're going to be a better boss for other people. You can. That's what I would tell my friend all the time when she went and listened to me in Shaw when I got her licensed and she was working with me. I was like, you want to be the CEO before you're the good worker. And you're going to be a shitty when you have an assistant, when you can actually, I was like, you're going to do good in this business and you're going to have assistants and this and that, just like I'm trying to get you to assist me. But if you can't be a good worker, then you're going to give your assistant unreasonable expectations. You have to know how to do the job before you hire for the job. You can't always be like that because once you get successful enough, I'm sure that you can't do all the jobs that you're hiring for. But those things like setting expectations, managing your time, stuff like that, those are the bad bosses who never really understood what it means to be in a position below that they're hiring for. Anyways, my opinions. TTIP. Secrecy around talks is profoundly undemocratic, MPs say. A German MP said she was given only 2 hours to read 300 pages. Don't let the haters get you down, man. There are far more people who appreciate thoughtful posts than the vocal minority that shit on them. We just don't take the time to say as much, while those who trash others do so out of compulsion to feed their own ego. So, though I'm just one person taking time out of my day to thank you, trust that I represent many more, and we represent the general population. At least I hope we do, or else we are fucked. Don't stop the sincerity train, friend. That's Shaz being cool online. Oh, this is interesting. I got 1 point for him. Discover him. Discover him. Discover him. I have to click on this because I know this is ridiculous. I got someone put me in, I am very smart. And this is what turned me off to Reddit. I was like, really? They're going to fucking... It was just too negative. I'm not the most social person. I've had good friends in my life, good loves in my life by now. And now I'm making money. I'm like, where's my blind spot? Where's my insecurity? I think I like how I live. I like my personal philosophy. I also care a lot about politics. I care a lot about art. And people are fucking making fun of me online who don't know me. I'm just like, this isn't a productive way to live. I'm being silly, but... so this is mine. Oh, he erased my name. Why did he erase my name? Oh, I guess he didn't want me to fucking... he didn't want me to be famous. The fucking idiot. He says, I got negative 12 points for this. I said, this is... what fictional death was the most heartbreaking? And then they're talking about... I looked this up. They're talking about Pablo... No, the guy who did The Starry Night, Vincent Van Gogh, on Doctor Who, and they're walking him through. I'm really... That fucking bugs me. Western fucking Grecophilia, ethnocentrism, museums. I hate museums just because I feel like we're dying for human narratives which tell the whole human experience without the bias of propping up our empires and our wars of aggression, this and that, because I see it. I see the remnants of that on everyone's blind spots, all of this ignorance and ethnocentrism. I'm just so sensitive to that. I'm sensitive to bullshit, manipulation, and people will be like, Shaz, what, every museum's in manipulation? Why do you have a museum? What about fucking the British Empire with artifacts from their whole empire and their whole world? They're not honestly describing their empire and the travesty and the fucking crimes against humanity and self-determination and autonomy and self-expression. They're just propping up their own story. This is clearly... You can't be neutral on this shit. Anyway, that's how I feel. So I get mad at stuff. So I'm like, fucking. So that's probably where my saltiness came out. I said, genius is just pattern recognition. Time is irrelevant once you understand the pattern of life. If Van Gogh suffered, all he was either impatient or not a genius. He would not have made... Oh, I was going at Van Gogh, apparently. He would have made the effort... He would have not made the effort if he did not believe his audience would exist, at least someday, to discover him. Discover him. Discover him. I'm alluding to the fact that I think someday I will write or create a great work, as I'm trying to do now. And then I am saying that people should discover me, as Van Gogh knew that people would eventually discover him. That's what basically, like, I'm trying to say, like, I'm also a great artist. Oh, fuck. I have to scroll down. I just went back to the top of the page. I have to scroll all the way back down the bottom of the page. But yeah, I'm basically like saying, like, I am Van Gogh level quality artist, and that is why I know that he understood that his audience would eventually be out there to appreciate him, because I know and understand that my audience will eventually be out there to appreciate me. And, all right, yeah, we don't have that many. Yeah, we'll finish this up. And then I have to catch up on the last couple videos, because this is actually a video. I was supposed to do this Reddit stuff a couple videos ago. We'll catch up. It's okay. We're fucking up the whole fucking order on these last couple of videos. All right, here we go. Discover him, discover him, discover him. By Zap Finch 42. So look at that, Zap Finch 42. Now you're as famous as Shaz Barbaric. Congratulations. I got 1 point for this. You guys are very kind to take an interest in my work. You might be some of the first. Kind of a cool idea, huh? I mean, not now, but now. Now. You'll get it because now you do. Just fold the paper. That's the idea that like time is like you have two dots separated on a paper, but if you fold the paper, you can punch a hole through both dots at the same time. Just being clever. And then these guys think I'm being douchey, but it's like, what's the difference between? Well, I guess it's who's proven right. Let's say, for argument, in the process of doing what I'm doing right now, and I sell my book, and I start my publishing company, and I start a social media company, and this place is Reddit, and I make $1 billion with a unicorn startup. I run for president. I'm not going to say I win because I don't know if I want to win, but let's say I do most of the things I'm talking about doing. Then I was right. And if I don't, then I was wrong. That's how simple life is. You just have to have a word and live by it. But like, it's just funny just to fucking make fun of people for having ambitious, large ideas. Without what I would do, I always put myself in the other person's position. I'm like, I would just ask a person like, why do you think that though? In your mind, what indicators show that you can accomplish the things that you're thinking you can accomplish? And then that starts a dialogue, an interesting dialogue. And sometimes I come at life and come at people in a certain way where I was thinking about this with Zen. That's why I recognize a lot in Zen. And that's how you deal with manipulators too. Is that there's a response that I would have to that situation. And it's not that there's just one response, but there's a lot of negative responses that would turn me off. So I find myself communicating with people, even since I was in high school, in a certain way where it's in order to allow them to reveal themselves to me. So I give people what I think they need to hear, but not for their edification, for my education. And that's how I made most of my friends. Our first interactions, I liked how they responded. Not that they always responded how I would have or how I even expected, but if there's that negative response or that there's certain things where like that guy where he's like, I could punch you in the face. It's like, all right, that's not an automatic, like, I wouldn't be your friend. That's like, all right, because we still stood there talking to each other. That's different than him actually punching me in the face. It's like my friend Rory, the lawyer, he when he didn't rat me out when I was in the army and I slid under his bed and they were looking for me. And then they kept walking down the hallway, the night watch or whatever. It's like, that's my homie. It's like, all right, fucking, you got one very important quality out of the qualities I look for in a person: loyalty. And loyalty over subservience to authority. If I was breaking the law or doing something crazy, but I'm just being a fucking dumbass. And my friends put boundaries when they think I'm being a little bit too wild for what they're willing to entertain in their life. And I've started to learn to respect those boundaries and not take them personally, because I accept more risk than the average person would. Not everyone wants to throw their back out. So not everyone wants to work out with Shaz, because sometimes Shaz doesn't. I'm talking about my back because it hurts. But to dismiss me out of hand without the dialogue just shows me what types of people these are, which is starting to turn me off to Reddit. After these comments, I think my comments get a little bit more bitter and then I bounce. But anyway, Zap Finch 42. Maybe we will find him online. I wonder if I can. CEO of Reddit, Steve Hoffman, about advertising on Reddit. We know all your interests, not just your interests you are willing to declare publicly on Facebook. We know your dark secrets. We know everything. I got 1 point. Don't worry, you guys. I offered this raspberry douche to pay me 1 million ransom, not to create the next evolution of Reddit and turn this place into a live journal. He didn't comply, so it's in the works. There will always be social media on the web. There will not always be Reddit. These entitled first-gen startups are high off their own supply. They monetize content they don't create, which is often stolen in the first place. They have no moral high ground or innovation to offer. This is just where the conversation is now taking place, until there won't be any more. Should have paid me my money. See, that's how Shaz communicates. I have open conversations with many people, including the fucking CEOs of billion-dollar companies or however much Reddit is worth right now. Including fucking, I don't have an open conversation with this anarchist kid, but what is that? Kobe Bryant would be like, he would remember if someone slighted him in a game for like a year or two, fucking, and then the next time they played, he would fucking take it to that person. Some of us just like are, is it stubbornness, competitiveness? I got many traits, but one of them is this very stubborn competitiveness. But you have to, if you're going to try to do very hard things in life, you have to have this indomitable spirit. I remember being in that Oasis apartment complex, and we would go swimming, but you needed a key to get into the pool, and our parents didn't leave us the keys to go into the pool, so we'd just go swimming when we wanted to. We were latchkey kids, but we were supposed to, we would go swimming when we wanted to, not when our parents said we could. And they're all at work anyways. So we picked the lock to get in. But usually we just jump the gate. We're kids and we're just climbing up and down the gate. But I'm sitting there trying to pick the lock with a fucking stick, just try to get the little latch open. And my friend is already over the gate. He's like, just jump it. I'm like, no, I almost got it. He's like, and it's the first time I think someone told me. I was like in 5th grade. He's like, you're stubborn, aren't you? And I just thought, I was like, I guess I am. I still waited until I picked the lock. I want to get better at picking these locks. That's the thing. Some of us don't like being kept out of places. Authority, gates, this and that. Some of us are super anti-authoritarian. Oh, back. We got you. Let's talk about Orlando by Spez. Don't worry, you guys. I'm working on the next iteration of Reddit that will have Spez spazzing out. He's like the car that chases the dog. Not sure what to do when he chases it. I think I was supposed to say he's like the dog that chases the car. Not sure what to do when he catches it, but that won't stop his boner from dragging on the floor like a tailpipe. I'm high. Does that make sense? I was like the car that chases the dog. I'm not sure if I did that on purpose. His boner from dragging on the floor like a tailpipe. But really, new Reddit product coming up. Yeah, when I was doing real estate and the money had started coming in. I have to catch up on the real estate years. I will in a minute. I was starting to like live my life the way I wanted to. So I fucking spend a couple $100 on weed whenever I wanted to. I had nice grinders, nice bubblers. You start to like just like what someone who always wanted a BMW gets a BMW. I just fucking always it's like a kid who grew up always hungry. I kind of was always hungry growing up. And then now groceries was always budgeted, $100 every 3 days. I didn't always spend it. But like some people spend $100 a week on groceries, I would give myself $100 for 3 days in my budget. So like, that's like $1,000 a month on groceries. I wouldn't spend it all, but that if I ate meals, that would help too. But when I went to the grocery store, I would allow myself up to $100 for just 3 days worth of food, so I could get nice shit. And then and that's what you learn. You learn that okay, so I can live off of $40 a week. But if you want to get like nice meat and nice, like just buy shit you've never bought before. Actually go to the grocery store and don't look at prices and just be like, this is nice, this is nice. But really, new Reddit product coming up 2017. He didn't pay my ransom, so I'm coming to take his community away. You all have the answers. If you have the answers, if only the right company with the right CEO will listen to you. It's like a fucking organic algorithm hive mind beauty, and his head's too far up his ass to listen because current corporate culture, especially startup, is paternal because they're the first wave. This site is shite, just less shite than what came before and more shite than what will come after. There is nothing proprietary about Reddit other than user Spez's ego and extreme cynicism. Features that bode well for business but make him intolerable in any community, online or otherwise. Thus his financial success. Keep my millions warm, douchebag. What is this 2019 the year when I live up to that fucking claim? We will see. First I need a little stability and I need to heal my back. That would be fun. There's a lot of people who would be happy if I took down Reddit. This hit the front page yesterday. Pretty sure it was just a cropped book cover. Here's a full thing from Summer's Coffee in Soho, Manhattan. Content creation and monetization is the current form of the war for the digital commons. People don't attribute and companies don't compensate from their monetization. Definitely not a sustainable model, which is scary when you crunch the numbers. Original content generates for social media. Reddit, Imgur, Facebook, YouTube, they're all gassed up on a flawed system. Don't see this lasting. Just a recent example of, I made this. All right, I got 5 more minutes. 152 points, my best comment ever. Saw them in Brooklyn 2014 when they did a reunion tour. My sister and I picked up moon rocks on the way, ate them as we ran into Prospect Park for the show already starting. It started to kick in as we were within earshot of the music. Every single person was singing every single word to their songs, all 2 albums. They called off the show halfway because it started raining. The audience didn't move. The rain let up, and Jeff came back out to start the show again. The drummer threw his sticks into the audience. I put my hands up. One landed in my palm as everyone dove to the ground. I casually slipped it in my pocket. Then me and my sis wandered into the night, rolling. It was a beautiful experience. Ooh, stiff. I was supposed to go get my ice. Oh, I did that for an hour without ice. Silly Shaz. And I got up for no reason. I thought I had the stick here. I have that stick. When I said how many things I would carry with me, where is it? Oh, here it is. It's right here. Oh, and a mag light. Also mag light. If you're going to be homeless, mag light is a good light protection and a good beating stick. Why do you think the cops like them? Here we go. Booyah. Look at all these little marks. This is the whole show recorded in indentations along the whole stick. You see all of these rim shots that the guy did while he was playing Neutral Milk Hotel. This is like the record. Literally, a record is just the recordings that you can then put into a machine which will play the vibrations back to you in the form of sound. And that's what I think that is. This is that night recorded in physical form. This is the drummer of Neutral Milk Hotel. And he threw his fucking sticks into the audience. It was raining, so it slid over the fucking whole front row, and we were about maybe like 20 people back. It was just a huge fucking bowl, and we were in the bowl. And I put my hands up, and me and my sis were on moon rocks. She doesn't want to be in my life, so I'm trying not to talk to her about her too much. And then she's in my life. She just doesn't want me in my public life. And then it lands in my hand. And then everyone thinks it fucking fell on the ground. So everyone, Neutral Milk Hotel fans are crazy. Like, we'll read the rest of this. There's other stuff. How many more do I have? I only have one more. Yeah, so I have like a minute to do this. Everyone goes to the ground, and since I was tripping, moon rocks are basically Molly, but just a raw form. I put it in my board shorts, like in between the shorts on my skin, and I tap my sis on the shoulder, and I show her, and she's like, and then everyone is on the ground, and it's just, since we're in a very emotive state, like very emotional, lovey state, I was afraid that they were going to fucking kill me, like they were going to like tear me apart if they knew. So, and the couple next to us start screaming at each other, I can't believe it was right there, why didn't you grab it? And no one can figure out where they went. And I just walked out of there so fucking, it's like winning the lottery. Some of the things I've done in life are like lucky, or they're just like chance or fate. That whole day, that whole night, that whole experience. I grew up on Neutral Milk. I didn't grow up on them, but Rory introduced them to me in the Army, and ever since and I introduced them to people. Every now and then you find a band that you introduced to people and was introduced to you that just becomes a part of your formative experience. It's like, so that is from like 18 years old, 90s onward, so many memories with their music, and then just to see them in that reunion tour and to have this stick, that's one of the few things I'll always hold on to me. Sometimes extreme motivational problems can be caused by adult ADHD. Here's the best advice I could give. Open up a Word doc, organize a chatter, set your priority tasks at the top, and then allow your thoughts for future plans, ideas, goals to filter to the bottom. Sort at the end of the day. You'll develop a dialogue with yourself to realize just how your brain thinks. Every brain is different. ADHD seems like a catch-all shortcut for just learning how to cope with your own personality and genetics. There's a lot of choice involved. You might be predisposed to distractions, but then you can choose to refocus on your priority tasks. This method also allows the chatter to keep running in the background, where you might actually come across something useful. Don't medicate. Don't seek outside help. Don't do anything until you first start that internal dialogue. Otherwise, you might inhibit what actually may be a strength of the way you think. Treat your mind like a child. Discipline and clear boundaries, but plenty of space to play. Less clinical diagnosis, more joy. My own 2 cents. Since implementing this tactic, I've made a shit ton of money and had a clearer head while keeping my Reddit addiction. So it works for me so far. You see how I said addiction? yeah, that's one of the reasons why I stopped. There's some ways I'm going to use Reddit and stuff like that, but I was like, I'm not jumping into this fucking social manipulation weird shit. There's too much negativity in here. Yeah, and I live my values, and I try to maintain